Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel, where I review the latest movies and TV shows. Today, I'm going to talk about Madame Web, the new film from Sony's Spider-Man universe. This movie stars Dakota Johnson as Cassandra Webb, a paramedic who develops the power to see the future and tries to save three young women from a villainous Ezekiel Sims, played by Tahar Rahim. The film also features Sydney Sweeney, Isabela Merced, and Celeste O'Connor as the three Spider-Women, Julia Cornwall, Anya Corazon, and Mattie Franklin. Madame Web is directed by S.J. Clarkson, who makes her feature film debut with this project. The film was released on February 14, 2024, and has a runtime of 116 minutes. The budget was $80 million, but the box office was only $8.2 million, making it a huge flop. So, is Madame Web worth watching, or is it a waste of time? Let's find out in this non-spoiler review. Madame Web is based on the Marvel Comics character of the same name, who first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man number 210 in 1980. She is a blind psychic who has a connection to the web of life and destiny, a mystical force that links all living beings in the multiverse. She often acts as a mentor and guide to Spider-Man and other spider-themed heroes, such as Spider-Woman, Spider-Girl, and Silk. She has also been involved in several major events in the Marvel Universe, such as Spider-Verse, Spider-Geddon, and Last Remains. Madame Web is one of the most mysterious and powerful characters in the Spider-Man lore, and fans have been curious to see how she would be adapted to the big screen. However, the film version of Madame Web is very different from the comic book version, as it depicts her origin story in a standalone universe with an approach that was more grounded and gritty, compared to many previously released superhero films. The film also introduces three new Spider-Women, who are loosely based on existing comic book characters, but have their own personalities and backgrounds. The film explores the themes of fate, choice, responsibility, and sacrifice, as well as the consequences of meddling with the future. Now, let's talk about the positive aspects of Madame Web. First of all, the performances of Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney are the highlights of the film. They both deliver convincing and nuanced portrayals of their characters, who have complex and troubled backgrounds. Johnson brings a lot of depth and emotion to Cassie, who struggles with her newfound abilities and the secrets of her past. She also shows her range and versatility as an actress, as she plays a character who is very different from her previous roles, such as Anastasia Steele in the 50 Shades franchise, Carat 1, Carat 1, or Eleanor Melrose in The Lost Daughter, Carat 2, Carat 2. Sweeney shines as Julia, who is the most developed and interesting of the three Spider-Women. She has a strong personality and a tragic backstory, which makes her sympathetic and relatable. She also has a great chemistry with Johnson, and their scenes together are the most engaging and dynamic in the film. Sweeney proves that she is more than just a pretty face, as she has impressed audiences and critics alike with her roles in Euphoria, Carat 3, Carat 3, The White Lotus, and The Voyeurs. Another positive aspect of Madame Web is the story, which has a lot of potential and originality. The film explores the concept of seeing the future and changing it, which is a fascinating and relevant theme in today's world. The film also introduces some new and intriguing elements to the Spider-Man lore, such as the web of life and destiny, the spider totem, and the spider prophecy. The film also has some twists and surprises that keep the audience guessing and invested in the outcome. The film also has some decent action sequences and visual effects, especially in the third act, where the stakes are high and the tension is palpable. However, Madame Web is not without its flaws. In fact, there are so many negative aspects of the film that I could make a separate video for them. But for now, I will just mention some of the major ones. First of all, the film is too long and boring. The pacing is slow and uneven, and the film drags on for almost 2 hours without much excitement or tension. The film also suffers from poor editing and transitions, which make the scenes feel disjointed and confusing. The film also has too many subplots and characters, which dilute the focus and impact of the main story. The film tries to juggle the origin stories of Cassie, Julia, Anya, and Mattie, as well as their relationships with each other and with Ezekiel, but none of them are well developed or compelling. The film also wastes the potential of the Spider-Women, who are barely used as superheroes and have very little screen time or action. Another negative aspect of Madam Web is the lack of connection to the Spider-Man universe. The film is supposed to be part of Sony's Spider-Man universe, but it has nothing to do with Spider-Man or any of his allies or enemies. The film does not even mention Spider-Man's name or show his logo or suit. The film also deletes all the scenes that were supposed to link the film to the Spider-Man universe, such as the cameo of Tom Holland as Peter Parker, the appearance of J. Jonah Jameson as a reporter, and the post-credits scene that teased the Sinister Six. The film also changes the origin and nature of the spider that bit Cassie, making it a generic spider instead of a genetically modified one. The film also ignores the comic book lore and history of Madam Web and the Spider-Women, and creates its own version that is inconsistent and unfaithful to the source material. The film also contradicts the established rules and logic of the Spider-Man universe, such as the multiverse and the Spider Totem. The film also fails to capture the tone and style of the Spider-Man universe, which is usually fun, colorful, and adventurous. The film instead opts for a dark, gritty, and realistic approach, which does not suit the characters or the genre. The film also lacks the humor, charm, and heart that are essential for a Spider-Man film. The film is a huge disappointment and a clickbait for the fans of Spider-Man and the Spider-Women, who expected to see a faithful and exciting adaptation of their favorite characters. Some more negative points of Madam Web are the weak villain, the bland cinematography, and the poor dialogue. The villain, Ezekiel Sims, is a generic and forgettable antagonist, who has no clear motivation or personality. He is just a greedy and ruthless businessman, who wants to exploit the spider and the future for his own gain. He poses no real threat or challenge to the heroes, and his final confrontation with Cassie is anticlimactic and disappointing. The cinematography of the film is dull and uninspired, with no distinctive or memorable shots or angles. The film uses a lot of dark and muted colors, which make the film look gloomy and depressing. The film also lacks any visual flair or creativity, which could have enhanced the mood and atmosphere of the film. The dialogue of the film is also poor and cliched, with a lot of exposition and cheesy lines. The film does not have any witty or clever dialogue, which could have added some humor and personality to the film. The film also has some plot holes and inconsistencies, which make the film illogical and confusing. For example, how did Cassie survive the spider bite as a baby, when her mother died from it? How did Ezekiel track down Cassie and the other Spider-Women when they had no connection to him? How did Cassie and Julia escape from the hospital when they were surrounded by security guards? The film does not explain or address these questions, and leaves the audience unsatisfied and frustrated. So, in conclusion, Madam Web is a disappointing and boring film that fails to live up to the expectations of the fans and the potential of the characters. The film has some good performances and a decent story, but they are overshadowed by the many flaws and shortcomings of the film. The film is too long, too dull, too disconnected, and too unfaithful to the Spider-Man universe and the comic book source material. The film is one of the worst Spider-Man films ever made, and Sony is wasting Spider-Man's potential by making such films. I would not recommend this film to anyone, unless you are a die-hard fan of Dakota Johnson or Sydney Sweeney, who are the only saving grace of this film. I would give this film a rating of 2 out of 10, and I hope that Sony will learn from their mistakes and make better Spider-Man films in the future. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more movie and TV show reviews. Also, let me know in the comments what you think of Madam Web, and if you agree or disagree with my review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Team GTR signing off.